Most of your work, Hayley, has been in the healthcare sector, and your firm, Mirams Becker, specializes in healthcare executive search. So can you share what that journey has been, since the time of founding your company, and what that vision was when you initially created it along with Penny, and where it's taken you?
So I think that Penny and I really wanted to create a high-touch firm that was entirely dedicated to the healthcare sector and partner with healthcare providers to really make smart and informed decisions about the future of their management and leadership teams. So we recognize that this is a highly unique space with very special considerations. So we really do feel that having that dedication to the space is important. Mirams Becker is dedicated and focused. We are flexible and nimble and really able to customize our process and structure to each client and their specific needs. And Penny and I, you mentioned our 15 years in this space. We have a significant amount of experience that we're able to draw on, and a great reputation, great connections and relationships that we can leverage. And we have the structure without having the overhead. So that was really the vision for Mirams Becker, is that highly specialized, highly customizable process for our clients. I'm inspired every day by the people and the organizations that we serve, and by the opportunity that we have to really match leaders to organizations where they're going to drive change and impact lives. So I think Penny and I both really do consider this work a privilege.
And congratulations on your first year. I know
Thank you.
You're most welcome. How has this past year been? What have been your challenges? What have been your highlights? And where are you as compared to where you saw yourself a year ago?
Yeah, so I think that this first year has been a really exciting one. We had a vision for where we wanted to go with the firm. We were sort of down the path of establishing the business when COVID hit, and we had to make the decision, are we going to launch during a global pandemic or will we wait? And I think we were both so excited by the possibilities and by what we were creating that we just jumped in with both feet. So I think that over this last year, we have had to shift our business model and adapt to the realities of the global pandemic and the restrictions that have been put on us. So I think one of the big changes has been shifting to a virtual environment, where we used to meet clients and candidates in person and build and develop those relationships. All of our processes are now in a virtual environment. So I would say the good thing is that that's been fairly seamless for, nimble and adaptable healthcare leaders. They're used to change. They're used to changing directions. So that has been pretty seamless. But I also think that there's been, stress and pressure from working from home and having the kids doing online learning. So that has been a huge change, and certainly not one that we expected when we were launching. So it's a juggling act. But I think there have been highlights during the pandemic as well. It has affected the recruitment process. And I think that when we connect with candidates and clients, you're connecting at a different level. I think people are really open to talking about their experiences and their struggles and what they've been going through. So that really allows you to connect on a deeper level with candidates and clients. We're connecting with people in their home environments. Mm-hmm. You're seeing cameo appearances from pets and children. So as I said, I think if there is a silver lining, there's sort of that authentic conversation and relationship building happening.
How has this virtual recruitment process, I know you said it went quite well, seamlessly for you. Do you think you would continue doing it once we go back in some ways to that in-person interviews?
So that's something that we've been discussing. And I think that we'd want to, of course, have that conversation with each of our clients once the restrictions are lifted and you are able to get together in person. I think we've seen the efficiencies that come out of doing interview processes online. So I think our recommendation would be to continue having first round interviews virtually. It's easy for candidates, it's easy for clients, there's consistency. But I do think for a second round, we would encourage them to meet in person when we're able to do so. You want candidates to be giving presentations, you want to see how they read a room, how they present themselves. Are you able to build a solid rapport with that individual? So I think in person will always be a critical part of the process, but I think there's a lot of efficiencies from virtual interviews as well.
How many recruitments are you doing at one time, and how long are your typical engagements? What's that process like?
One of the reasons that we did want to go out on our own and launch Mirams Becker is to have a process that is more high touch. So ideally working on less assignments so that you can really invest the time and energy in each of your assignments. So I would say we typically have 3 or 4 happening at one time, but they're all at different stages. So you're able to sort of balance that out. So the engagements, again, vary with each opportunity, but executive search processes are typically 12 weeks or more. So you invest time up front, really understanding the client, their needs, and what they're looking for in a candidate. Typically would spend 3 or 4 weeks out doing active recruitment. And then we are an end-to-end service provider. So we also engage through the interview process, support them through that, references, background checks, and then offer negotiations. So it is typically about a 2 to 3 month process.
If you had to pick the favorite part of this process, what would that be, Hayley?
The favorite part of my role is just building relationships with people. I find this business so fascinating, learning different aspects of the healthcare system, what these leaders are doing and accomplishing within their portfolios. They're so inspiring, and I love connecting and learning every single day from the candidates and the clients that we're interacting with.
And what would you say about entrepreneurship over the past year now that you have some experience?
Entrepreneurship is all consuming. It really is. And I think that there's this increased focus when it's really something that you're building for yourself. And I'm accountable to an incredible business partner, and I want to see this be as successful as it can be. So, certainly in the first year, it is all consuming, but that's why it's so important as well to sort of set those boundaries and be able to step back.